Good morning. This is my Toyota Supra, and if you've been following along, so far you've watched me swap out the stock twins for a single turbo kit. We've completely redone the entire fuel system. The latest addition, we did head studs and camshafts and valve springs. And today, we're gonna focus on something that's very important, but sometimes maybe a little bit overlooked. And it's inside this box right here. That's right, we're updating to this really rad radiator. That's right, this week we're upgrading to this colossally cool cooling system now. That's right, we're doing an entire overhaul, sort of the cooling system on this car. And we're starting with a pretty solid base from Powerhouse Racing. And this bad boy is thick with 2 C's. This is Powerhouse Racing's XTR intercooler. It's the thickest one that they sell. And upgrading to an aluminum radiator that has more coolant capacity will help us keep this car cool during whatever torturous things we're going to put it through. But this isn't the only thing we're upgrading. This is coming with an entire new fan system that we're gonna have to custom wire into the new ECU, along with a few other goodies from Powerhouse Racing. Let's dive right in and get this thing put in the car. Typically installing a radiator into a car is pretty straightforward. Usually you have 2 little rubber bushings on the bottom that some pegs will sit into, and then you can rock the radiator forward, and it's usually held down by a couple tie downs that go over the top and kind of hold it into place. That isn't where we're stopping though. That was the easy part. Now, we also have this, which is a fan shroud from Powerhouse Racing as well. It does come with the little auxiliary fan and a spot for a 16-inch fan. It also has these little doors that let air go through if need be. And for the fan, we have this high flow 16-inch 7-blade fan. If you're interested in the model, it's that one from SPAL. SPAL. I don't know, I've never heard it said out loud. Is it an acronym? Nobody knows. And along with that, I have this little coolant overflow tank because I took the original one out when I did the intercooler, and then I bought a little plastic one from a Honda Civic that was tucked next to my battery for a long time, and then I moved the battery, and then it was just sitting in the engine bay and it looked terrible. So this I'm going to mount somewhere in here, and then it'll be nice and pretty and functional, which is arguably more important. As far as wiring goes, the Supra comes with a clutch style fan that runs off of the water pump from the factory. We're getting rid of that to get rid of the engine having to turn that fan, so that'll free up a small amount of power. But because of that, there's no wiring in place for a fan on the Supra, which means we're gonna have to custom wire this into the aftermarket ECU. So for that, I have this very neatly packaged fan relay kit. Basically, it's just a relay so that you can run full power directly from the battery to the fan without having to run that full power through anywhere else. Basically have this relay, full power is running to the fan, and then inside this relay you can run from the ECU a ground switch, which whenever you tell the ECU to turn the fan on, whether that's at a certain temperature or if you have it on a switch and turn it on manually, you'll be able to trigger the fan getting power through this relay with some smaller wires. We'll have to get this all wired up. We don't have the ECU in the car yet though, so we're just gonna be running these wires into the car where the ECU is going to live, and then we'll get there in a video soon. But for now, let's get this shroud all ready to go in the car. So this little auxiliary fan originally came with a nut and a bolt that went on the back side of this shroud. I am going to replace those with some rivnuts, just to make my life a little bit easier if I ever need to take this stuff back off. I'm just gonna cut off the connector that's on the fan and replace it with some DT connectors, make life easier. Now that both of these fans are mounted, we're gonna get this temporarily mounted to the radiator so that I can put the intercooler piping in there, and then we'll be able to know where exactly we can mount this little coolant overflow tank without it getting in the way of anything else. Smooth. I marked the location of where I would like to place that coolant overflow tank. Back over on the bench, we'll drill those out. Do the same thing we did with both the fans, rivnuts, mount everything up, and then get it put in the car. That looks like a pretty complete car, which it is. The last thing we need to do is wire up the fan. This is actually just like generic fan relay kit, 60 amp relay, and it uses 12 gauge power wire. It's using 18 gauge for the trigger wires. This relay will be hooked up directly to the battery and then run to the fan, and then the fan will also get grounded to the chassis. And then these two wires will run into the cabin, which will feed a 12 volt ignition switch to the yellow wire. And then the gray wire will go to the ECU, which will trigger the relay via grounding it. You go into the ECU, you put in what temperature you want the fans to come on at, what temperature you want the fans to go off at. Everything should work smoothly. Gonna mount this thing somewhere near where the battery used to be so that we can run this power wire nice and short to the fuse block connector that will be a 12 volt constant source. We'll just find a nice way to run this blue wire to the fan plug. And then I got, this is a DTP connector because a little bit more amperage is gonna be running through that. I didn't wanna use just a regular DT connector, so we're using the big boys. That should make everything nice and safe power-wise. Let's go ahead and get this thing all wired up. The new fan is now wired for power directly to the battery. The next step we have to do is trigger the relay, but that requires me to have an ECU in the car, which currently I do not. I think we're gonna stop there for this one. The next steps for this car, considering everything under the hood is basically wrapped up, is to jump to the interior of the car and we'll get the ECU in and then the wiring harness. We have a few other goodies for the interior that we're all gonna kind of do at once in an upcoming episode. So stick around, we're not done yet. See you.